Hey Screenwriters. Today I want to talk to you about what I think is the most important tool for a screenwriter. It's something easy, it's something simple, it's something cheap, and it's something that you should be using to develop your screenplays and your scripts on a regular basis. So let's get started. I find that we as screenwriters are becoming so enamored with technology, we sometimes forget that the simplest things are often the best things. And for me, the humble index card is still one of the best screenwriting tools available. You can get them for next to nothing, they're really versatile, and in today's video I want to show you how I use them to write my screenplays and how you can use them to improve your overall screenwriting game. So, screenplay cards are really straightforward. They're just squares of paper with lines on them. And the thing that I really love about them is that I don't feel committed to anything that I write down on it. It's not like I sometimes feel when I'm typing something, I have to be really committed to what I'm writing. With an index card, if I don't like it, I can just toss it and be done with it. The other really wonderful thing about using index cards, it allows you to write in sort of a non-linear fashion. So you can just write random things on each card and then arrange them separately down the road. You don't have to feel that you have to write something in order. You can just write as the ideas come to you. Index cards can be really great as well to help you with writer's block or help you when you're struggling with a screenplay because of the versatility that they have in terms of helping you generate ideas. So I want to get into how I use index cards when I'm working on a screenplay and how I actually even use them to help them with character development and scene development. This stack of index cards was for a screenplay I wrote a while ago, and this was the first step in me developing that screenplay. These cards represented the first script that I ever had optioned by a Hollywood producer, and all I did was write things down beat by beat on these cards. I then laid them all on the ground, I organized them the way I wanted to, I figured out what was missing, I filled in those blanks, then I wrote the script. I was able to go from index card to finished first draft in about a month using this method. So index cards don't just come in white, they actually come in a variety of colors. And I tend to use color-coded index cards when working on a screenplay for different things. Blue tends to be for characters, pink tends to be for scenes, green tends to be for themes or symbols, and white is for what's actually happening in the scene, like action, for example, or dialogue. So how I use index cards is really straightforward. When I'm working on a script, I usually write 1, maybe 2 lines per index card, per white index card, to tell me what's going on in a scene. It could be a major plot point, it could be a line of dialogue, whatever I think is inspiring me at that moment for that particular idea. And I don't write in order, so I write whatever I have in my head. In many cases, I know how a screenplay's starting off, and I know how it's going to end. I really don't know what's happening in the middle, so I just write whatever I know at that time, and then I put it down. And by the end of a day of writing, for example, I may have a stack of white index cards an inch deep filled with ideas that I have for a script. They're not in any particular order, but at least I have something down. And then what I usually do is I lay everything on the ground and then I start putting things in what I think should be chronological order for the story. I start to group things in terms of Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 to help me get a sense of where my narrative is going. And the great thing about doing it that way is you quickly realize what you're missing in a story. You quickly see the gaps that you have to fill off. You know that, well, between this index card and this index card, I'm going to need another one there to help me bridge the gap between scenes. Using index cards is a great way of doing that. Now, like I said earlier, index cards come in different colors, and I tend to use different colors to help represent different facets of my screenplay. So blue, for example, can be characters, pink can be specific act ideas, so what I want to do in Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, and then green can be things like themes or motifs. By breaking your script up into these sort of color-coded systems, it allows you to tackle individual problems of your screenplay without having to worry about everything all at once. So if I'm working on a script and I don't know what the next scene's going to be, I just spend more time developing my character. So I write out my character ideas on this. And if I'm stuck on character development, I'll try and figure out what my theme is going to be or what the overall arc of an act is going to be. And it makes the process just a whole lot easier. Another thing you can get are these little index card holders, and these are awesome. And I even got these little tiny dividers here that allow me to organize everything alphabetically. So this whole index card box has ideas for a whole bunch of scripts, either whether they're features or television ideas, in here. It allows me to organize my ideas, allows me to work on something, then put it away and come back to it later. And the wonderful thing about it is that when you've organized things chronologically in terms of your script, when you give it some time, if you step away for a bit and you come back to it and then you flip through, you'll quickly realize whether your idea is working or not, because given some time, you can look at it and go, I don't think this story works as smoothly as I thought it did. I should reorganize things, or I should reorder things to make it work better. So index cards, they're wonderful, they're cheap, they're versatile. I use them literally every single day when I'm working on my screenplays. If I'm stuck on something, I always go back to this. I don't try and work something on my computer. I try and work the problem on an index card first. I find it to be much more liberating. I find it to be less stressful. And it really helps me make sure that I'm on track in terms of all my ideas and on track in my script development. So try them out. They'll cost you next to nothing, and I think you'll be amazed at how quickly it improves your screenwriting game. So that's my video. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, drop them in the box below. Happy writing.